Hello, friends. How are you? It's Jer Stay. Sorry we're running a little bit behind today. We have some exclusive stuff that's going to drop soon. We had to get it done. It is winter. I am Jer Stays. Joining me is the Prince of Brightmoor himself, Norris Howard, for our weekly sojourn into live streaming.
That's right. I'm very excited. First of all, glad to be back. And before we get deep into the show, I just want to say word out to Kay Cunningham and Detroit Pistons. Late win last night against the Atlanta Hawks, who are also one of the better teams in the East, and walked away with another dub. Pistons now, I'm going to say it, man. I'm going to say it. Outside of Oklahoma City Thunder, best team in basketball. They are right now.
What were the vibes like at LCA? I mean, I saw a couple of your pictures on Instagram.
It was hype, man. It was good energy. Everybody was very excited. Almost completely sold out for a Monday game after a holiday. Like, that's pretty great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so great crowd, great energy. And the Pistons, they really should have won by like 20. No, I'm serious. Like, the way they played defensively, they should have won by like 20. But, hey, a win's a win.
That's what matters at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
How's your holiday?
Man, it was so fantastic. I got to say, man, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday out of all holidays, besides my birthday, which is a national holiday. And, I like it because it is Christmas food, holiday food, without any of like the financial obligations, unless you're cooking. But other than that, man, it's really just about getting with your fam, kicking back, eating good food, watching sports, taking your intoxicant of choice with cousins that you haven't seen in a while. It's great. Like, that is what the holidays are for.
Sitting in my feelings about the Lions.
That's something I don't do.
Yeah, I hear you're really good fantasy football, though.
Oh, I'm number one in my league. I'm 11-2.
How? You don't even care about football like that.
I took my feelings out of it, right? I don't. It's not about feelings. It's not about, I love this player. No, stats, statistics, deep research, sabermetrics, if you will.
Isn't that baseball?
Yes, but you apply the same principles. of statistical analysis, and I went in and I did the analysis, and I got the best team in fantasy NFL, and now I'm 11-2, and the only person close is my dad, and he's 7-5. So I'm running away with this league, and at the end of our family league, you get a championship ring too.
I have a lot of thoughts about that. I mean, what does this ring look like? Is it like a?
No, it's like a championship ring.
You like go order one?
Yeah.
Can I apply to be Norris's family? Can I? I'd get any of this. We had to like raise money for a varsity jacket.
We all put in money at the start of the season, and then the winner gets a trophy and a ring.
Have you ever won the ring before?
No, this is the first year we're doing the ring. So and this is the first year I'm in the family fantasy, of which my brother warned them. To be fair, my brother warned them. They say if Norris joins the fantasy league, he's gonna be hard to beat because he does his homework. He's a journalist. He will do his research, and I surely did. And now my father is angry with me.
Does that frustrate? I was gonna say, since you said your father is angry with you, that surely frustrates your family. Especially sports fans in general really don't seem to like the metrics thing. Like Fletcher, we love Fletcher Sharp, right?
Yeah, we love him to death.
But he'll come out there with like facts, and then he'll just get like yelled at for like 2 hours by the internet.
Yeah, but it's like that sometimes. I don't care about your feelings. The facts are the facts, just like the stats are the stats. You know what I mean? Numbers don't lie. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? If I come in and I see that this is the best running back available in the draft, I'm taking him. I don't care what team he plays for. And guess what? That's why I'm winning.
Well, if you are new here, let me tell you how this works. We do a little bit of chatter so folks can join us for the live stream for some back and forth. Again, I apologize that we're starting a little bit later. Then we're going to record our show that will air on our main podcast feed, which is our main product. As it is our main product, we will not be kind of doing live chat talk until afterwards. So save it, and we'll try our best to answer as we go. Hey, Mr. 1213, good afternoon. He's in the chat.
That's my guy.
That's right. So that's how we will do this thing. We're doing a mailbag episode, so I've actually gotten some listener questions from the podcast. So
I love mailbag episodes.
Right. It's just basically like, let's tee off Norris.
It's not even always because it's bad. Like I'm going to tell y'all, chat and listeners out there, I actually really love hearing from y'all and hearing y'all's opinions, because a lot of times you just bring up a perspective that is completely something that neither myself nor Jerry even thought about. And that's valuable. So that's why I like hearing about it.
Yeah, it's part of the joy of doing this.
It really
this
is.
way, and having people interact and making this all go. I really enjoy that feedback portion of it. And it makes us think. The thing is too to remember is that like our podcast has been around for 1,800 episodes. And so we actually have a lot more listeners to our show through our podcast apps than we do like on the streaming. Like this streaming thing for people new here, this is new for us.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing the show for 8 years as a podcast, and we're showing up on here. And I'm not sure. I mean, I'm glad that we're doing it. It's fun.
Yeah, and listen, y'all don't understand. It took a lot of arm twisting to get Jared to agree to it finally.
It's because I have a face for radio, sir.
That's not true.
I look like Al Borland shopping at an Apple store.
And a lot of ladies like Al Borland, okay? Al Borland. Ladies love
Stephen
Al
Page
Borland.
from Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, okay. You got me.
Yeah, it's not.
You got me. I'm going to sit back on that one. I'm going to sit back.
Yeah.
And let you finish out your point, because I have no retort.
There really isn't. Oh, by the way, I want to mention to folks, we will have a sponsor this week, Merry Midtown.
Let's go.
This Saturday, so I will talk about that. Something that you're going to want to check out if you are into local holiday shopping. Noel Night's not happening this year, but Merry Midtown is. I will be mentioning it during the show. We've got some holiday cheer. We're going to be doing a live stream on location next week.
Yeah.
In Midtown.
Yeah.
Not in the studio.
No.
Out in the cold.
Freezing.
It's going to be terrible for you.
Awful.
But it's going to be fun.
You say so.
Okay, so here's the thing. We have a choice of either a heater or a tent. for safety concerns. What do you want?
Bruh, that's like the cyanide pill or the acid pill. Like, what do you...
Listen, I've been saving this question. It was going to be on our team Discord. I've been saving it for on the air just to torture you.
If it's raining, the tent. If it's not,
let's just hope it's
then
not
it's
raining.
not.
Michael in the chat. Good to see you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah, if it's not raining, then the heater. I'll be bundled the hell up, so whatever.
Are you going to be wearing the orange jacket?
No, that's no. It's gonna be thicker jacket than that.
Really?
Yeah. Plus, I'll probably be wearing some base layers.
So, in case you do, if you happen to be around in the afternoon next week on Tuesday, you could actually see us record live over on Canfield Street.
Yeah,
we're not making a big deal out of it, but if you want to see us do the thing and also spend money,
making a big deal out of it. Come see us. We the best podcast in the tri-state area.
Is this the tri-state area? This isn't the This is the tri-county area.
I said tri-state. You heard me. You don't think we the best podcast between Ohio and Indiana? You don't think so? I think so.
I know we're better than Indiana. I know we're better than Ohio. So
by default.
By default.
That makes us the best podcast. I don't care what nobody say. No, that is not a real metric. I'm just saying.
So Merry Midtown, I'm very much looking forward to. I just love Noel Night. I was so sad that it wasn't happening. But to see the businesses organizing around together, absolutely great. I want to see that local shopping happening whenever we can,
Yeah, and I actually been hearing about a lot of folks who are just shopping locally in general through the whole month of December. There was some other, middling attempts at, big box store boycotts and stuff from certain edges of the internet. But I've been hearing a lot more people talking about wanting to kind of get away from the Amazons of the world and spend more money locally. And been seeing people doing that.
Well, and all this stuff happening over there on Canfield's really cool.
Yeah, and also, if you haven't heard, this is unrelated to Midtown, so just a quick shift of gears, is that your little shops over there downtown are open again.
Cadillac Square.
Cadillac Square shops are open, so if you want to check those out and get some little stocking stuffers, if you will, go and check that out, too. Some more local business shopping for you.
You could go from Canfield, you could go to the Canfield Q-Line stop. You could have a little city shopping experience.
You surely could.
All the way down to Campus Martius.
That would be so cute.
Apple Store. Or you get off at Grand Circus and you go to the Apple Store. You could go to the Lip Bar, which, by the way,
yep,
I'm not a consumer of the Lip Bar. But what a great experience of the Lip Bar. I was along for the ride.
Oh, okay.
And I also, they're not that
boyfriend thing.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
If cosmetics is your jam.
Yeah, if cosmetics is your jam and it's locally
owned, black owned.
Yep.
You go check it out, woman owned.
All the owns.
All the
owns.
Intersectionality. It ticks all the boxes. No, but Lip Bar's dope, and you can check it out. And I'm always downtown, shopping and stuff. So yeah.
Also, if you spend a certain amount of money at the Lip Bar, I think at the Apple Store, and I think at Warby Parker, there's a couple others, you can actually get free parking for 3 hours in the
Y'all
garage.
Be killing me with the free parking thing. I get it. It's a good perk. I'm
telling you because the people want to know.
It's a good perk, but it's
$20.
I gotta spend
$20.
I gotta spend an extra $13 to get my free parking.
Well, I mean, I think it was a minimum of if you're
I think it's $25 or something.
If you're at the Apple Store, you're gonna bust that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go to the Lip Bar and buy 3 lipsticks and some foundation, or I don't even know what we use this for. But if you buy them,
I'm gonna need you to know what makeup is What is makeup, Jay?
I know I know that it exists.
Yeah, you are not familiar with the difference between foundation and mascara. Do you not know?
Okay, so mascara's for the eyes, right?
Yes.
Foundation is to smooth out your skin.
Yeah.
Visually.
Okay.
And lipsticks for lips, right?
Okay. All right. You was.
I'm not a complete idiot.
I was about to say it was sounding a little rough there for a second, Jer.
Listen, I'm 45 and never married. That should tell you some things.
Yeah, well, hey.
I'm just not that versed in the world.
We can't have it. We all can't have it all.
All right. So yeah, go check that out. Anyway, we'll get into the show and get into people's stuff. And I see some people have joined us. It's absolutely great. Let's get to my show notes here. Da-da-da. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, as we answer these mailbag questions, please put it in the chat. We'll circle back to it after we record.
Yeah.
And hang out for a while. And yeah, and I know that we've got some visuals along with some stuff, and I want to get your reactions on some things.
Yeah. And before we get super started, another great shout out to producer Adam, keeping us looking crispy on the stream. Thank you very much, producer Adam.
He's even, you know what? Every week there's like some other doodad. So like now the desk is on casters and wheels.
I saw that.
It's wild. Like all of a sudden, I have a feeling like maybe one day he's just going to show up in like a RoboCop costume.
Nah, he's an innovator. He's an innovator. It'll be something different. He'll have like one of those like Dr. Octopus attachments on his back where he'll have like 4 extra arms and he'll be able to control multiple streams and do camera adjustments from one spot.
I can't remember the name of the guy for the life of me, and I hate that. But like, there was this guy before the pandemic that'd be all at the parties. He had like a LED outfit that had like a D on it, and he had like fog cannons.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
And he was on stilts.
Yeah.
He did like a bunch of corporate parties and like club parties and stuff.
Oh.
He was the thing for a while.
There's always a little Detroit guest star every few years. You know, you got him, you got Goatman, you got Shadow Clan. Do
you remember Mr. Detroit with the Gators?
I get Mr. Detroit.
He used to live in one of the buildings over by the Renson. I would always run into him over by the Renson.
Yeah. You had a bunch of people, especially if you live like down in this area. If you live down in this area, there was always some kind of like Detroit guest star.
Aren't you kind of by definition a character?
Me?
I'm saying like if you're in this area, there's a higher chance you're a character.
Oh, everyone's a character in somebody else's life. Yeah. That's what I need everybody else to realize is that you're only the main character in your life.
Fair.
To everybody else, you a bit player. know what you up to. You are not the main character in somebody else's story.
All right, we ready?
Let's get it.
All right. We're recording here. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello, friends, and welcome to your Daily Detroit, sharing what to know and where to go in Southeast Michigan, coming to you from our studio at Techtown. I am Jer Stays, here to talk about your thoughts on so many things around town and to help me answer your questions and react to what your feelings are about Detroit stuff, because you've got a lot of it. Norris Howard, the Prince of Brightmoor, how are you?
Hey, man, y'all already know what it is. The West Side is back in the building, and we are here once more to proselytize the gospel of Detroit.
You know, and if you love the Prince of Brightmoor, like we all do, you can get your very own Prince of Brightmoor sticker.
You can.
If you become a member, patreon.com/Daily Detroit.
That's right. Members only, just like some of our favorite jackets from the 80s.
Oh, that's taking you back.
Oh, yeah.
That's taking you back.
I have a members only jacket.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
So join us, patreon.com/Daily Detroit. Become a member of our Discord member-only chat. You get stickers or a rocks glass or both, depending on the tier that you join us at. You get our undying thanks. You get access to conversations sometimes earlier.
That's right.
Than the main feed. And, of course, a direct line into us and your feedback.
And sometimes invites to secret events.
Yes, we have secret things planned. Mm-hmm. We keep secrets from you unless you're a member at patreon.com/Daily Detroit.
So get ready.
Let's get into this episode with a lot of mailbag and a lot of reactions. First off, we were talking about the news around the Leland House and City Club. As we are recording this, we do not have a plan. I have been hearing behind the scenes that theoretically something's supposed to move forward with this. We don't have an answer for that yet. But one thing I did notice is as of recording this, more than $12,000, nearly $13,000 has been raised for Saving City Club. There's like a $43,000 DTE bill. There's also the question of the 30-some apartments and people living there.
That's right.
We covered it extensively on the show, but Norris Howard, what are your thoughts? We had a couple listeners ask, as a downtown resident, you're the downtown resident of the group. What are your thoughts about the Leland
Listen, let me put it this way. Y'all know how I feel about old, broke down stuff, okay? If you're not going to keep it up, knock it down, put something new there, and keep it moving, right? The Leland has been a building that people have been holding on to for a very long time. At this point, I'm going to say it, borderline blighted. Borderline. And I hate to put it that way because you had people living there under really, really, really strenuous conditions because the management team did not want to take care of the building. And therefore, now DTE has gone in, utilities have been shut off, and those people are going to be forced to have to relocate. That sucks. That's terrible for those people because, unfortunately, this was probably one of the only things a lot of those folks could afford. And now they've been scattered to the wind because of crappy management. Now, in terms of City Club, we can find some other crappy building to put you in. Like, listen, I've been to City Club. Like, I understand its importance to that community, and I think it is critical that City Club exists. They've clearly raised almost $15,000, or excuse me, $13,000 for City Club already. Y'all will find a place, trust me. There are plenty of buildings that are fairly centrally located. You know what? The old theater right there on Woodward that we talked about last week.
The Fine Arts?
The Fine Arts Theater.
That thing's already apparently cursed.
It's
Perfect.
City Club.
That's perfect.
It's perfect. Just move into there. There you go. But see, now it's because you can't do the thing where it's like, oh, it's cool, and if you know, you know. But now everybody knows about the Leland and City Club, and so move on.
Listen, I've always used it as a way to tell what era of Detroit you are. You know the whole City Club apartments, right? Mm-hmm. I was so confused when those were announced because I'm like, wait, am I gonna when I get apartments there? Do I need to run around with tape on my nipples?
Yeah, and leather chaps
and leather. Is this a requirement for living here? And I would have been
and then what made it even worse is that there were multiple City Club apartments.
and then one of our earliest popular episodes was they were talking about how sexy the bathrooms were.
Yes.
And so I was very, very confused, and those sexy bathrooms did not line up with what the City Club sexy bathrooms would be for the City Club at the Leland. I was so confused back then when this was the first 50 episodes of the show.
I remember.
I was so confused.
Yeah, I remember. But listen, man, my take is, let somebody who wants to take care of the Leland take it over, fix it up, get it so people can live in there and really enjoy it. And let City Club find a really awesome place where maybe they have even more space, or maybe they can have better space, and go from there. But you got a little 10-rack cushion now, so you'll find somewhere. That's a couple months of rent somewhere.
So let's talk about the Packard plant. We had a lot of feedback on the Packard plant.
Oh, I bet.
A lot. Okay. Charles and a few other listeners say, and okay, let me reset in case you didn't listen to the episode earlier this week. Packard plant, plan to redevelop it, costs more than $50 million. A large chunk of it's going to be light manufacturing or warehousing. Then the front part will be a type of live space that's done by the same people as Dreamtroid.
Yep.
So it's going to be focused towards artists and creatives.
Yep.
So thinking studios or stuff like that.
And Dreamtroid is dope. Dreamtroid is, for those who don't know, right there off Trumbull. Great place if that's your jam.
Yeah, and your station life for what you need for as a creative. Absolutely. Also an electronic music museum, skate park that looks straight out of a Tony Hawk level.
I was about to say, did Tony Hawk have his hand in this? Because this is the Tony Hawk
it's
Pro Skater 1 level from the warehouse level. It's that.
Do you know that's theoretically possible, right?
Of course,
he's got a house here.
Yeah, of course it's That's why I asked. It is absolutely theoretically possible. Also, I am most excited about the Museum of Electronic Music.
I like the acronym MODEM.
MODEM, yeah.
I like it a lot. If you get our newsletter, I wrote about the Detroit experiment and that track Think Twice.
Yep.
Which was playing in my head the whole time I was going between covering stuff on Monday. So let's get in your mailbag. Charles and a few other listeners, I kind of summed this up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Why not make this a data center? It seems like a natural fit. And there's been a lot of rumors around a data center.
Ugh. Ew. First of all, ew. Second of all, data centers are very contentious right now. Let me answer you academically first. Data centers are very contentious, particularly if they're inside of residential areas. Zoning in Detroit is already notoriously weird, and a data center will have to clear a lot of red tape in order to put one of that magnitude within city limits. That's number one. Number two, they require incredible amounts of resources, incredible amounts of power, water, all that kind of stuff. And lastly, there are environmental hazards to have to consider, and if residential is going to be this close to it, that's already a non-starter.
I will add on to that this isn't a great location because it's got much better access to roads, rail, and freeways.
Right.
A data center, it honestly, you don't need to be near those things.
Just some water.
You just need, and you need to connect to it.
Yep.
Whereas for something like this, if you're doing trucking, if you're doing warehousing, if you're doing, I could see something
Logistics.
like logistics, drone delivery, light manufacturing. It just makes a whole lot more sense there.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of stuff you can do where you have housing nearby.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, I mean, some people don't believe that, but you can go throughout the suburbs and see light industrial across from residential neighborhoods, and it's fine.
Oh, listen, that is literally all DeQuinder is. Like, you go up John R., you go up DeQuinder, in between those two streets is all light industrial.
Yep. Okay, Tia, I hope it's commercial and residential. Give me Zara, Mango, Home Goods, Foot Locker, Kroger, Sephora, and a Trader Joe's. So basically, I think they want a strip mall.
Yeah, that's what you want. And my answer is no.
Not there?
Not there. Maybe somewhere else, but not quite there. I think, first of all,
maybe they're thinking it's easy to get off of the freeway.
Yes,
right?
I get
so
it.
if you're car-centric, then I could see where it's like, oh, there's some big lots that are like right around the curve of Grand Boulevard.
Here's the problem, all right, is again, when stuff like that gets built, you have to create there has to be a justification for the market there. And if you're going to put a Zara or anything like that in the city of Detroit, currently, really the only place you're going to put it is downtown or midtown. That's the only places with density that have it. This needs to be, in my opinion, exactly what they made it for. I usually don't cape for the big developers like that, but this is exactly what this should be. It should be a residential / creator space. It should then be something that's providing jobs by reviving some light manufacturing. So that's bringing jobs to the area, and you're creating common community space, third space. That is also what needs to be created in the city, and that's something that I see that the city of Detroit is very conscious of. Creating skate parks, creating museums, creating places where our youth and our seniors can go and hang out and don't necessarily have to spend money.
I live around the way from this thing, okay?
Yeah.
And let's just say, you're going to have to bring people in for this. It's not like there's a ton of people who live over there.
No, this would be new people.
Yeah, it's new folks. One thing that could be interesting, I know that a lot of it might be aimed towards artist and creative space, but I think about somebody who's trying to get themselves together. Let's say they got a job at that place next door. They could live next door as they get their stuff together.
No, and the cool part about that is they could either live next door, or this could be somebody who may have just missed the list to live in Dreamtroit, or maybe this is somebody who is new to town who wants to live in a creator type space that, you know, they wouldn't be able to live anywhere else otherwise, or maybe they really don't want to live in, you know, one of the older homes in that area. Maybe they want to live in something that's a little bit new but still has an old look. Listen, it opens the door to a lot of possibilities.
Look, I love my neighborhood. I was going down Field Street, closer past Mac. There are some, if you're looking for some cool homes to fix up from a different era, they're all there. But I'm going to tell you this, and this is something that I think is going to be a theme around some of our reactions to this. Like, you need money. If I had the money, I would fix up one of these places.
Oh, you need,
but like,
you need mad bread.
Yeah, you need a bread factory.
Yeah, like,
These houses could be like Indian Village, but you need money.
Well, it's like, you know, you go to one of these places, you buy, you know, one of these older homes for 80, 90K, but you got to put another 250 into it in order to make it really up to snuff for its former grandeur. So that area is full of those types of homes, but this is going to allow people to just get back in the city and bringing jobs in the city as well. this is a good idea.
And that area suffers from a problem that a lot of those old homes, I drive by them all the time, okay? They're really cool, but the amount of money to restore stuff of that quality or of that era and of that size, and a lot of families aren't of that size anymore.
Yeah, it's just a difference in demographics nowadays. A lot of those, even the duplexes and stuff that were built over there. I mean, this was for people who had 2 adults and 4 kids and maybe a dog. Like, that is a lot of space, and these homes are massive. And so unless you're moving 7 to 9 people into those buildings, you almost don't even have a use case for a lot of them to still be there. So this Packer plant idea seems to be a good plan so far. Multi-use, multi-purpose. And I think that's what a lot of our development should be moving forward.
A lot on this. So multiple listeners, including Tracy, say that they looked at the renderings and said that there is not enough parking. They're concerned where the cars will go.
It's not for you to be like super duper visiting like that. It's not the mall. Right, like you want parking
enough for the people who live there.
You want parking for the people who are going to work at the light industrial next door, and you want parking for a little bit of the museums. Guys,
there's so much street frontage there.
And there's street frontage. We got to get out of this. Oh my God, I need a giant parking lot. Oh my God, it is not.
Do you know how terrible
Walmart.
Giant parking lots are for the environment?
They're awful.
We should never build another one without true like environmental buffers. One of the great parking lots I really like is, not that there are great parking lots, but outside of the People's Co-op, they did a nice job with the drainage and everything. Parking lots destroy environments. They cost a ton of money. They're terrible for wildlife.
And they cut off communities.
So we got to design it better. We can't just do big lots anymore.
No, and on top of that, just make a structure. If it's that serious, make a structure, and at least if you make a structure, you can put some retail at the bottom of it, man. Like, come on, y'all, with the parking lots.
Okay, this is from a number of people. The mayor said that every time we can preserve historic architecture, we do. What about that? The Renaissance Center? And then someone else said they took down 90% of the property and are replacing it with surface lots and a giant gray warehouse. This is not saving architecture. A lot of people were very upset about this.
So, all right. So on one hand, we got people saying it ain't enough parking. On the other hand, we say it's too much parking.
I mean, isn't that local news in a nutshell?
What is it? That's number one. But number two, to a certain extent, I agree. I think the Renaissance Center, you got to take the Renaissance Center out of the traditional architecture conversation because it's not traditional architecture. And it is such a different case from literally every other building in the entire state of Michigan that it's an outlier.
Can I actually make a tie bar between the Ren-Cen and the Packard plant?
If you want.
I think I can.
Try me.
Both of those facilities have been economically unusable for decades. And so they're poorly designed for the modern era.
Big old albatrosses.
They're albatrosses. I've talked to so many people over the years about the Packard plant. I have covered this over and over again. The way the Packard plant was designed, the ceilings were too big for residential and too low for industrial. And in the modern era, people are not building industrial on multiple floors. It's inefficient. It destroys efficiency. With the Renaissance Center, for years, even before the pandemic, for many, many years, look, the Ren-Cen never actually made sense.
No.
It was, and financially, although we all love it because we see it in the news all the time, the books just don't make sense on it. And so at the end of the day, I like the idea of saving what we can. Those extremely historic buildings over by Grand Boulevard, I think that's absolutely great.
Yeah.
But we cannot live in the past. And as a neighbor, I am glad it's gone because it was tore up.
It was.
There were boats in it.
I mean, here's what I gotta ask, right? And the question is how much crap are we supposed to keep up for the sake of preservation, right? There's a certain extent where we could keep certain things, but at the end of the day, the purpose of the old is to be fertilizer for the new. That is the purpose of our cyclical existence, right? And so when something like the Packard plant that actually could be used for something new, awesome. The Renaissance Center could only be hotel offices. That's it. We've litigated this already on many shows on this show.
And it's going to take a huge lift to make part of it residential, and they're going to do that.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it for all of it. So the rest of it got to come down. It is what it is.
I'm tired.
Hit me with it.
I'm going to preface with this.
Hit me with it.
I love historic buildings. I
know you
seen
do.
many buildings come down that should not have come down. I was around for the Statler. I was around for the Madison Lennox. I was around for the Lafayette. I've been around for a number of these things, okay?
Around for all of it.
My career started at Channel 4 News with the implosion of the Hudsons.
Fun day.
Okay?
That was fun, though. I bet it was fun.
Here's
Fun
the
day.
thing. I love all this stuff,
Yeah.
but we need to live in reality. I am sick of living in a city where it's all about the hope and not about the jobs, where it's all about, well, I want to paste my perfect vision of what you should have, yet I have been living here for 20 damn years.
Yeah.
And I see these same people. I don't see these people in my streets.
They not there.
Lots of people have lots of opinions about things they never visit.
Ooh.
Lots of stuff where I have been here for decades, and I am tired of being told what I should do.
Cook, brother.
Okay? I know my neighbors are tired of being told what we should do. Oh, this is my vision. Well, put up some damn money.
Cook, brother.
Okay? I want things to work. I want to live in a neighborhood where it's safe to walk down the streets. I want to live in a place where I don't see 90% abandoned buildings or empty lots going down the way, down areas that should be full of people. We need to look forward. And to my fellow residents, we need to look forward.
Absolutely.
What was happening before was not working. I know there's changes, and change is tough, but things have not been working. And the reality is we've still been seeing middle-class flight to the suburbs. I'm not saying we have to reproduce the suburbs, but we need to be real about the situation that, yes, positive things are happening, but also there are challenges. I sent out a newsletter on Monday night, and a lot of people got mad at me for juxtapositioning the Pecker plant and the Leland situation. But that is the truth.
Well, yeah.
Detroit is never going to move forward unless we talk about the truth. And also, we need to get the extremists out of the way. Because you know what? People got to live. This city is never going to turn around as long as the average income is $30,000, $40,000 a year. You know, people be like, well, why isn't it out like Chicago or whatever? And I know there's poor areas of Chicago and there's challenges and all that other
Absolutely.
stuff. But the median income's still like close to 60. People like Coleman Young himself said the problem, like people steal stuff because they're not making money.
Hey,
like we gotta get real about it.
Crime is a symptom of poverty, my friend. It's just that just all studies point to it. Crime is a symptom of poverty. And so if you approach it from that lens, what is a main way that you reduce poverty? Jobs, development, neighborhood programs. We've already seen that crime has been able to come down through neighborhood policing initiatives, through gun buyback programs, getting more guns off the streets. There are a bunch of things that Detroit's already doing that's moving the city in the right direction. But when it comes to development, when it comes to actually putting new things in the city, there is this friction, that exists within residents. And as a resident, as somebody like Jer, who has spent nearly their entire life here, I've only not lived within Detroit city limits for 2 years of my life. And I'm telling you now, new stuff makes Detroiters very happy. And so when new things are happening and people feel like they have a city that they could be proud of, people want to be here. And so we got to keep the momentum going. And if you ain't part of that momentum, I don't know what to tell you.
All right, couple of feedbacks for you, Norris.
You know do you know this is my favorite part?
Okay, listener Brian listened to the November 26th podcast today, and I want to inform Norris he is using some outdated population numbers. Speaking on affordable housing, he stated the city's African-American population is traditionally 82 to 85%. It was in the 2000 and 2010 census reports. He says this narrative is used by local and national media to amplify Detroit having the nation's largest black population percentage-wise. Here are the latest numbers, goes through it, but highlights in 2020 it is down to 77.6%, and 2025 76.7%.
I don't care. It's still a majority black city. That was my point.
So tying into that, Eric, who says he's a city resident, Detroit's black population has lost 6 percentage points since 2010. I think this pace will double or more, where it's 60% of Detroit in 2040. Norris,
Okay.
how can we stop this trend? It's clear my friends are moving to Southfield, Macomb County, Farmington Hills. They just are gone. And the mainstream media keeps telling me it's affordability, but I know they're buying better houses and spending more money in the suburbs.
That's right.
I know you keep it a buck. Make it make sense for me.
Here's what's happening. Number one, Detroit, when it comes to black residents, has lost the safety narrative. Even though safety has been reduced, there is still the feeling in the neighborhoods that the neighborhoods are not safe. The biggest thing, education. The schools in the suburbs are better, period. As long as in the state of Michigan that we have our education funding tied to property taxes, that is always, always, always going to result in the suburbs having better schools, period. The moment we decouple those two things, we're allowed to have funding go into the Detroit public school district from other sources in a more efficient and effective way. Then you'll be able to see some changes with that, or you can just increase population as much as possible. The city is choosing the latter because the other way is just way too difficult. The last part about that I'll say specifically for black folks moving out to the suburbs, because like I said, I got family in the suburbs, is at the end of the day, we have to decouple success from the suburbs. And that is a ideological shift. We have to decouple success from the suburbs.
I apologize for interjecting, but isn't this kind of true in other areas? Like you look at Atlanta, a lot of that's suburbs.
Absolutely. Atlanta is a big suburb. Like that is Atlanta. But also Atlanta's construction boom and its construction industry makes it so very large homes are significantly cheaper than many other places in the country. And so for more homes or for more house, you pay a lot less. Here's the thing about the city of Detroit that I think people need to recognize is that the city of Detroit, I don't think will ever not be a majority black city. I think it will always be a majority black city for the foreseeable future. Will it be 75 to 80% majority black city? Nope. And you got to get rid of that notion right now, because as much as I hate to admit this, the numbers are the numbers. Nationally, black folks don't make as much money as white folks. It is what it is. So people with means, people with more finances, and I'm not saying there are no rich middle class black folks, because we know there are. And maybe we could convince some of our cousins from Baltimore and Atlanta and San Francisco and, California and all that to move to Detroit. Maybe we could. But at the end of the day, there's a cohort in America that has more money to spend. And as long as they got that expendable income, could come in, fix up houses, invest in businesses, revitalize neighborhoods, they're going to do it in places like Detroit and in places like Baltimore and in places like Cleveland, where their money is going to be way longer than moving to New York or Chicago or LA or Austin. They're going to do it. I personally do not care. I don't care. I don't. I want Detroit to win, period. I'm from here. So whoever helping me win, that's who I'm rocking with. I think it still includes black people in a major, major, major way, right?
A leadership way.
A leadership way, a cultural way, and in a business way as well. But at the end of the day, I think we also have to decouple in many ways this concept that being a majority black city is the only thing we have to offer. And I think for a lot of people, that is the biggest thing Detroit has to stand on, and I wholly disagree with that.
What do you think on top of that, from your perspective, as far as offering?
I think we have such a rich cultural history, and of course, majority of that is due to its black community. I think there is a thriving entrepreneurial community here that is of many races and many colors. I think our food scene is incredible compared, like proportional to our population. Our food scene is nuts. It's great, and I think there's a lot of things that we have to offer in terms of if you're an architecture nut, like. I hear it all the time from a lot of the people and a lot of my friends from other cities that's like, wow, there's so much great architecture in Detroit, and, people are trying to build on that. We still don't have like an over perversion of 4/1s Even though, a few of them have gone up in the city of Detroit, other towns have put up way more. And so we don't have that. And that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. Our musical legacy and our musical scene has grown, and really Detroit rap is the only rap that still sounds regional nowadays. There's a ton of stuff about the city of Detroit that is still exciting, that's still important, that still requires us to be a part of the narrative. But also at the same time, I'm welcoming everybody. If you're here for Detroit, if you're here to improve this place, if you're here to start a business, raise your kids, make money out here, that's what I'm here for you for. And I really don't give a damn what you look like.
So before we get into our final thing, that is something that we talked about in our member-only Discord on Patreon, I want to remind folks that this year, Merry Midtown is stepping in to carry the spirit of Noel Night forward. It's a festive evening with holiday surprises tucked into more than 50 of your favorite Midtown Detroit spots, all alive with lights, music, and that unmistakable December energy. It all happens this Saturday, December 6th. That's right, this Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. Find all the details at citybirddetroit.com/events. That's citybirddetroit.com/events. Okay, let's end with something that, as I said, on our Discord.
Yeah.
Pretty hot topic. That Michigan could save $1 billion a year if we invested in BRT, bus rapid transit, rail and bike lane construction. This is a new report, according to the report called Business as Usual. This is very interesting to me. The state of Michigan in particular could save that $1 billion by constructing 780 miles of new bus rapid transit, 5,700 miles of protected bike lanes, and 100 miles of passenger rail. There's already been some of this work in Illinois that has that's, I think, going to create some good results. But I thought I'd throw this in here because it feels like it's almost like if people want better roads, they could support transit.
Yeah, because there's less cars on the roads, you fools. Like, it is the most simplest thing on earth. Y'all, get out the car. Get out the car. All right? Like, I know it's the Motor City. I get it. But at the end of the day, if we are going to be competitive as a metro area, this has to happen. Not a could, not a should, not a might. Has to. Imperative. Every other metro area has some semblance of bus rapid transit or passenger rail. We do not. If we want to remain competitive and attract people from all over the country, it's something we have to do. And on top of that, people always talking about how crappy the roads are. They're crappy because there's no other option. So everyone has to use them constantly. Almost 6 million people live in Metro Detroit. And no one can really take the bus. No one can really take the train. How do we ever expect our roads to be halfway decent? They can't be. Do you see 696? Do you see it?
I mean, there's some fresh 696 out there.
Do you see how disruptive closing that has been for everywhere? Mm-hmm. For literally everywhere? Like, that's what's going to happen when there are no alternative transportation methods. Get out of the car.
Would love your thoughts. dailydetroit@gmail.com or 313-789-3211. We may use your feedback on the air. All right, for the podcast for today, I'm going to wrap it up. Norris Howard, so good to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you, and it's good to talk to the people as well.
Absolutely. I'm J.R. Stays. Thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you at Merry Midtown this Saturday. We will be live streaming in Midtown.
That's right.
Looking forward to it next Tuesday. It will be a lot of fun over there on Canfield.
Yeah.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit. Take care. I see the chat is hopping.
Chat is popping. We got some good thoughts in here.
Yeah, we do. We got to go up from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
Michael, there are literally no downtown buildings with rent close to the Leland. The apartments over the old town pump were similar, but I think that is still close too. Yeah, they had to move the people out of the town pump.
Yep.
Like, the problem with this is that, like, this is lower rent places without subsidy.
Yep.
And that doesn't make any math sense.
No.
That's the problem. Like, I want this rent to exist, but I don't think it's, like, this is something that is, it's inevitably going to die because the math will without a subsidy, without some sort of support.
And this is
This
why
will never. And although there have been issues with management, and I don't have any report. Like I'm not going to speak on things that I could be, gone at for without being. But it's clear the building hasn't been able to be taken care of.
Well, and it is a point to say that without subsidies for low-income housing, low-income people will struggle to find places to live. Now, we can talk about all the external factors that make that possible, but at the end of the day, we also got to look at what are we supporting? What are we voting for? Who are the people we're voting for? What do they stand for? Because, right, it becomes very difficult to put those subsidies in place to help our fellow man and the least of our fellow Detroiters when we haven't really honed in on people who take this up as an issue. So, that's part of it. The management aspect is a part of it. But you're absolutely right, Michael. The rents there were super cheap, and a lot of other places were super cheap. And this isn't, what's wild is this isn't even like a gentrification argument, right? Because I already hear certain listeners and I hear certain people talking about, oh, it's because they put all this new stuff downtown and now they pushed all those people out. Nah, man, like people was there.
This thing has been broken for a long time.
It's been busted.
Broken as long as I've been alive.
I was about to say the Leland has been kind of crap for my whole life. Like my whole life. So this is not a question of gentrification pushing people out. This is poor management and poor resource availability for low-income people in the city. And that part sucks, but that's the reality, unfortunately, right now.
We all know this, but Mr. Duckett 4006 is an excellent individual. He took the wife to Miss Ava's bar on Grand River on Small Business Saturday. Nice spot.
I heard it was nice. I want to get out there. I also want to get out to
4.9 review, 4.9 stars.
Yeah, I want to check that place out. I want to check out Soul on Ice on Livernois as well. I want to just start checking out more places that are not sort of in this core. Soul on Ice is like Livernois Joy Road. Looks so nice on the inside.
I'm sorry if I'm saying it the right way, Eva's or Ava's, but it's black on black. It's really, on the inside.
I want to check that place out too. So thank you for bringing up that suggestion. I think it's a spot I may want to hit this weekend. So Mr. Duckett, as always, coming through West Side, represent.
Mr. 1213, I like old historical buildings and rather save and renovation them than tear them down. Yep, I agree with you. It's just frustrating because like when you live near them, like it sounds like, oh, great, let's mothball it. But like in practicality, living near them is hell.
It's pie in the sky stuff, man. Like think about this. And y'all know I don't like doing this, but think about this. Did y'all really just want a giant hole in the middle of downtown forever? Like just a giant, decrepit, old department store in the middle of downtown forever? No. Who wants that? Right? Like, let's make things. We used to make things in this country, Jared.
Michael Dompier, keep data centers out of my city. I'm with Norris.
Hard facts.
Mia in the D. Norris knows his stuff.
Thank you so much.
You'd be surprised how better community would look if they just redid the curbs, sidewalks, and planted trees. Detroit has great homes. You know what? I noticed that too. So when I went to the press announcement for the Packard, all that infrastructure is blown out. Yep. So the grass has actually grown over the sidewalks and then into the street. So I like tripped over because there's nothing. It's all been gone.
Just no maintenance.
No.
It's just gone. And you're absolutely right. Me and the D. It's a little bit of love can make a lot of these neighborhoods look fantastic. Again, y'all, I'm from Brightmo, and there are neighborhoods that were overgrown during both shutdown, lockdown during COVID and also during bankruptcy. And somebody, whether it be a neighbor or, blight busters or somebody would go over there and, chop down a bunch of trees and mow the lawns. And you'd be shocked at just what that does to making the neighborhood looking way better. A little bit of love goes a long way.
Doctero, many are tired of stadiums, but bringing back horse racing would be cool in the city. Detroit Derby.
No.
I mean, I'm not against some sort of space, but horse racing is...
The answer is no.
I mean, part of our problem is that horse racing isn't even doing well outside of the city.
That's number one.
I mean, but I will say this: if you go back in the historic annals, and over on Marlborough Street, that brick street over on the east side, that led right up to a horse racing track that was in the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood back in the day, and that whole area was a big deal. The Riverbend Plaza area, that whole thing, that's where Henry Ford raced his car and won money and got investors for the original Ford Motor Company.
That's true. And then there was another one up, I want to say DeQuinder. There's another one up DeQuinder and 11 Mile, I want to say. Either way, there was horse racing tracks. There used to be a dog racing track out 96 and Middle Belt area years ago. Like, all that stuff has been a thing. I am not down for the use of animals for entertainment, so
Can we get a robot demolition derby?
that would be fire. Like
That would
a
be-
BattleBot stadium.
BattleBots in the Packard plant,
BattleBots in the Packard plant.
or
That's-
next to it, or whatever.
No, that's the kind of stadium I want. I want BattleBots.
Mr. 1213, I want the former General Motors headquarters Cadillac Place to be repurposed. I actually agree with this.
Facts, hard
So,
facts.
so the state, I don't think, is using anywhere near the capacity of that
I don't know.
gigantic.
They're using like 5 offices.
That is a colloquial statement.
It
Don't
is.
get
It's
mad
colloquial.
at me, Big Gretch.
Hazel Park by Dr. Hazel Park on DeQuinder. is
Yeah,
the
Hazel
whole
Park.
racing-
My cousin always used to go over there.
Yeah.
Does
yeah,
horses. Anyway, or works with horses.
Yeah.
So Cadillac Place, I don't know all the numbers for it, but I know that it's underutilized. And I think there could be a huge opportunity. And this goes key to something that really frustrates me about this neighbor, like just north of us in this neighborhood. You go over to Fisher Building, you see Cadillac Place, you see all of the urban street layout where you're like, this should be a poppin' corridor.
It should be so popping over here.
Right?
I used to live over there.
Oh, and remember, so like, oh geez, what department store was it? Neiman Marcus or
Neiman
one,
Marcus.
one of the original ones, like store number 3 or something, was in the Albert Kahn building behind the Fisher Building. The Fisher Building originally was like the Somerset.
Yep.
With all kinds of retail shops.
No, it was like downtown was where people like worked and played and all that stuff. And then this area, New Center, was where all the money was supposed to be. Because again, it was so close.
Well, General
to,
Motors built that neighborhood, Pallister,
Yep.
Bethune, all
Yep.
that stuff.
And then also you were right down the street from Boston Edison. This was the money area over here.
And when General Motors built that, of course, they needed the biggest office building in the world by square footage at the time.
Yep.
Now, I would love to see a use, especially for residential. Imagine how many places we could put if it could be redone in some way. I don't know if you can or not, but
I don't
there's a
know
lot-
if you can.
But you could, because here's the thing: there's windows everywhere at different angles.
That's a good point.
Right? That older construction where you have to have those air chasms, air chasms between stuff.
Yeah.
That could really be good. And the thing is that there needs to be a use, because I can't see the state needing that much space. Even if they need space in it, you could do something, right? It needs, if there were more residential around here, and there will be. So there's the apartment buildings going up. That Henry Ford place is getting real tall over there.
Oh yeah.
That could be so transformative. The street life that should be on it. I remember when some of it was there, right? Because
Oh yeah.
the Fisher Building and all that was hopping back in the day.
Absolutely.
But with Michigan State owning the Fisher Building, maybe they can convert some of that. Like, it should be
There
used
should be-
for stuff.
in the next 5 years, there will be so much foot traffic in this area that was not here today. It's going to be this is also, think about this. This is also one of the only neighborhoods that has both an elementary school and a high school within walking distance of each other.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
Like this area here between 94, the boulevard, and the 2 highways could really be transformative.
Michael Dompier, I understand Jer's point, but we need to have a real plan for jobs. I've been here for decades, and there's been so much waste with so few jobs. So I agree with you, but that's actually a question of industrial policy, which America is terrible at.
Yeah, the things that have harmed Detroit, and I hate to sort of try to hand wave this away, but a lot of the stuff that has harmed Detroit has unfortunately been out of Detroit's hands. It has been, first of all, an element of globalization of industrial policy in the first place. Then you have deindustrialization across the board in general. You have a cultural move away from industrialization, pushing all the talent into white collar jobs and the humanities. And now you're seeing unfortunately, economic policy harm industry even more. So it's like a quadruple whammy that has hit the industrial sector, which is what we're good at.
But, one of the challenges is that as we lost population, this goes into some of the issues with zoning and the pilot program that the city of Detroit's doing around taxes for new projects. I am aware of a number of sales and things that could become job creating stuff that are completely frozen because the pop-up taxes would make all the numbers completely go away.
Yeah.
And that really caps a lot of what you can do. There are systemic issues here that we have to address because if we don't, then the money will never come through. And that is part of the challenge. Is if you invest, you are penalized at certain extents if you don't go through the system, if you're going beyond a certain size of a project. And so what's happened so often is that we treat the city like it's 1950 or 1960, but it's not, and we have to recalibrate everything to where we are now so that we can be competitive for that. That also means a lot of decisions that suck, but I don't even
want to say they suck because, like, again, job growth is generally a net positive, but it's like people get caught up in the optics of how big, how large, how grand, because that's what we grew up with. If you grew up in Detroit, all the stuff that was built was big and grand. We just talked about the General Motors headquarters on the boulevard. You talk about the Fisher. You talk about when stuff did get built in the city, it got built big and grand. And we don't have the people to build big and grand no more. We got to build efficient, effective things that bring people in. That's why I think the Packard plan is a good idea and not going all the way industrial or all the way residential. You've kind of made it an in-between because now you got to see what function it serves the best. I think that is a more sort of measured way to approach it, and measured is kind of where we need to be.
Michael Dompier, schools, income taxes, property taxes. If you aren't wealthy and you have kids, might as well live in Grosse Pointe or Dearborn or Ferndale.
A lot of people
are doing that math.
Dearborn and Ferndale are borderline tapped out. I mean, for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to hear about a lot of new bills in Ferndale in particular.
They're densifying.
And they're densifying because they don't have a choice because it's such an attractive place for a lot of people to live right now. And, particularly, millennials, because again, if you grew up in this area, you have an affinity with Ferndale. It's always been this cool place to live. It's always had a cultural pull.
You know what a lot of our listeners really like is Berkeley.
Berkeley's another place.
Where it's like a little small downtown, a bunch of things that are there. You're still near Royal Oak and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I hear from listeners. I mean, we're based in the city, but like a lot of our listeners are all over the region. So I hear where they prefer and why. They'll message me. They don't want to get blown up.
Yeah.
Because especially on social media or streaming or whatever, it can be really tough. I've really seen a lot of changes in how even people approach social media, where there would be conversations that happened online in 2015 that just don't happen now.
No.
That are happening in the DMs. In fact, if you look at social media companies, they'll tell you the action has moved to the DMs.
Yep.
And so what I hear is like, hey, I love the city. I want to be in the city. But I can't.
It's not feasible. It's not feasible for me. And that's a big deal, and that's what I think we do need to begin to sort of, Detroit's issues, as we've said on the show many times, a lot of Detroit's issues stems from population. Through population growth of the tax base, you'll be able to start to fund a lot of these things, improve the schools, improve public safety, improve the fire department, all that kind of stuff. You'll be able to do that, but you got to be able to kind of chew gum or walk before you can chew gum. It is very difficult to be able to tell people who live in Berkeley, where everything just works, to move to a place that has dysfunction just because it's the right thing to do or it's the cool thing to do. I mean, it's tough. That is a tough sell.
Mr. Duckett, as a property taxpayer, I'm not sold on the cost of the Renaissance Center demolition. Spend that money on connecting third place experiences to world-class libraries and museums. Okay, I hear you, but look, we need to unpack how this works.
Yeah.
Like, I hear you.
Hit the numbers. You go first because I have feelings.
Okay, so here's the thing. If this were cash, I would agree with you. This is not cash. This is not cash. This is not cash. This is discounts on future tax. It's not like the city
not
is cutting
cutting
a
a
check.
check.
In fact, the city's not cutting much of anything in this. A lot of this is coming from the state and federal sources. They're applying for the big thing that's holding this up right now is the Brownfield program in the state of Michigan, where you get rebates
for building on gross land.
Yes, and you get money and you get rebates on your taxes for that. You do not get a check.
No.
And there's still a bunch of like 1.25 billion that's being put in by the companies.
Yep.
So the challenge with this and with a lot of these projects, and this is super common, so I don't mean to call you out. I deal with this all the time. Nowadays, outside of the old film incentive, which no longer exists.
Which is so disappointing.
I know, but also they constructed it very poorly.
They did. That's why it was so easy to dismantle.
Yes. Almost none of these incentives are cash. They are discounts on future work to make the numbers work for these projects so that they go. And so here is the thing. If you don't give these incentives, and look, okay, so I hear like senatorial candidate Mallory McMurrow is against these incentives, okay? So here's what's going to happen. All of it's going to go at their cost. They're not going to spend $1.25 billion. They're going to spend a lot less than that, and you're going to have an empty lot.
Right. As opposed to
there's no world that this is being mothballed. So the challenge is, do you make it so the numbers make sense? Because Detroit has the second highest total tax rate in the nation below New York City. Do you make it make sense so they spend $1.25 billion? Or do you say, okay, you spend your own money, but it's going to be whatever, $200 million. I don't know the demo cost with doing nothing. And then you have a flat lot
with nothing in it.
With nothing on it.
That generates no income, no revenue, no tourism, no nothing.
And it's all gone. Because the
gone.
option that does not exist anymore in the city of Detroit, and I've talked to numerous leaders around this, including, people in elected office, the option that no longer exists is mothballing.
Can't do it no more. It can't just sit there.
For insurance purposes, because a lot of that stuff that was empty for so long, people just walked away and there was no money to do anything about it. Now, especially in this modern world, there is no mothballing.
Well, here's the thing, right? Is that we can talk again. Land value tax is not here, so taxing land that is unused is not possible, right? It's not. That's not what we're doing here. We're talking about basically a borderline derelict building. After next year, the Renaissance Center outside of the hotel,
the food court's done.
That's what I said.
Like
outside of the hotel, the Renaissance
and the
Center,
two buildings are not owned by GM.
The two side buildings, right? If we're talking about the five main spires outside of the hotel central spire, you are talking about four massive borderline derelict buildings that are not being used. So that's number one. What does that mean? That means those buildings are generating nothing for the city. Negative. They are actually drained on the resources of the city. So the options are knock them down and make it to net zero, which gives you nothing except for, unfortunately, I hate to put it this way, piss off some people who could have did something with the land. Or you could say, and I hate that I'm caping for this, but it's just the fact that we're now paying for the sins of our fathers of a bunch of people who wanted this massive office park so people in the suburbs didn't have to cross the street and mingle with black folks, right?
Michael says, in the end, it's all cash, though. The part about if they don't give it, then it won't happen. Okay, but Mr. Duckett isn't nuts. No, he's not.
He's not nuts.
It's not nuts, and it's a common misconception. It's also a very difficult place to be in because the reality is that there's no other option. Like, no one else is coming in to do, like, no one else, the market isn't there. And so the question will become, okay, then let's say it goes to a net zero building. Then you get no income taxes from the people who work there or the people that live there. You get no other resources coming in.
You get no revenue.
And you have a hole on the riverfront.
It generates nothing.
So that's what's difficult about this. And yes, there's money that like they could be paying, but there's no world that they're going to be paying it.
Right.
Right. There's no world where they're going to be paying the full freight. Almost no developments pay full freight anymore.
And actually,
because it's broken.
And I'm going to say something. Because we're all I consider everybody here, including the chat, all of you are all very smart people. I'm going to just say this. A lot of us ain't tapped in like that. So you know what a lot of people are going to see and going to care about? New, shiny shit.
Yep.
That's what they're going to care about. You know how, listen, it was a handful of people really upset about the tax breaks for LCA. People really like LCA. And they come.
I don't like what's happened with District Detroit.
Right.
And I think all of those promises, we need to hold people accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't stand what they've done. You know how I feel about a surface parking lot, a plague upon a surface parking lot, right? But people like LCA. And at the end of the day, that's all they care about. If the beat's all right, they'll dance all night. And when we're talking about something like the Renaissance Center, there will be an ideological, like, it will be a knee-jerk thing to be, oh my God, they knocked part of it down. But if these plans come to fruition, and I hate to say this, I got significantly more faith in what Bedrock and other companies have put forth as opposed to, unfortunately, some other companies that have not fulfilled those promises.
I mean, look at how many developers over the years have done nothing. You think about even the situation where, wasn't the Leland supposed to be saved?
Absolutely.
How many times?
1,000 times, right?
How many times the Statler? How many times all these things?
Yeah.
No money. You got no money, you can't do it.
Yeah. So, you know, for me, it's like it is a catch-22. And again, all of this kind of stuff goes away if we don't have the population and income tax issues that we have. Again, these are not issues. If we can do what we can to get more people to live back in the city, and it's going to suck.
So
certain things are going to suck, but there has to be carrots at the end of the sticks. We can't just tell people move to Detroit just for shits and giggles. There has to be carrots at the end of the stick. There have to be things for people to do.
And
there have to be services. There has to be industry. There has to be certain stuff to get people to get here, stay here.
As I get older, that becomes more and more in stark relief. You know?
Yeah.
Like, when you're in your 20s and 30s, it's really easy to be like, oh, this hopeful thing. And then it's like, no, people got to get paid. People got to get health insurance. People got to get things done.
People got to put their kids in school.
Yeah.
People got to have health insurance. People got to be able to go to the library. People got to be able to get on the train or get on the bus and be safe and know that the bus is going to get there on time and take them to where they need to go. Like, these are all things that Detroit has done poorly. And they've done poorly because we have been trying to maintain a 1.8 million person city with 600,000. The math ain't mathing.
Michael Dompier, and he's right. LCA would have happened either way, though. Sure. LCA is a special case.
Okay, yeah, maybe LCA wasn't the best example. You got me there. I'll get that one up. You're right, because it would have happened anyway.
It would have happened anyway. I think it would have happened differently, more like Comerica Park did, because Comerica Park's owned by like a partnership board thingamabob that meets once a year or something. Mm-hmm. I think something like that would have happened. I think the goal of LCA, like the promise of LCA, was going to be District Detroit. That was supposed to be the thing.
And LCA was just the anchor.
Right. And that's clearly just, I mean, there are parts that are, there's development over there on the Henry block. Sure. That's happening. There's some things.
That's almost a decade after this stuff was revealed.
Yep. I know.
You know, so in Detroit's defense, this happens everywhere, even in places like San Francisco. It does, but the issue and the ease of it is a lot easier to talk about.
I think we need to level with the audience, because I have the opportunity, you know, from my previous life, from the connections I have reporting the show. I don't think we realize how little capital is in this town.
Because you gotta understand,
compared to other areas.
San Francisco is the size of the West Side with almost 10 times the wealth.
Yeah.
Like, literally, San Francisco is the size of the West Side. It is from Telegraph to Livernois. It is from 8 Mile to Joy Road. That's how big San Francisco is. 10 times the wealth. And almost 10 times the density.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, like, the median household income in San Francisco, I know things cost more, but the median household income in San Francisco is $167,000 a year. Like, come on, they're not even comparable. Like, okay. I know we can talk.
So again, I was being hyperbolic. Not 10 times the income, but what is that? Five times the income.
So Mr. Duckett says me financing billionaire tax welfare is crazy. So I hear you. So what we need to do, I think, is lower all the taxes. But
or
and that's
ra-
part of,
or raise taxes on billionaires.
well, so here's my thought. This is part of the reason why when we went to the Detroit Regional Chambers, we went to a fireside chat. I don't know if you caught this on the show. We went to a fireside chat with Dan Gilbert and Mike Duggan, like literally sitting me to the window with these guys. Okay, and like the thing is that the underlying structure of Detroit is broken, and so we have to move to. Their argument is we need to move something like a land value tax,
Right.
where you're not rewarded for speculating.
Right.
And right now you're rewarded for doing nothing.
You're rewarded for buying an empty plot of land and doing nothing.
Yeah. And if you build on it, it's more and more negative energy.
Right.
So if there is something that we can do to make it so that the like every project, so many projects in Detroit, they need neighborhood enterprise zone abatements to happen. There's all these things. We need to get it so that like the it just makes sense and there's a lot less of those incentives required.
Yeah, and like don't think that I'm not don't think I don't understand your energy, Mr. Duckett. Trust me, I do. I'm not saying that this is in and of a nutshell like this wonderful virtuous thing that we all need to do. However, I have to take, unfortunately, in the case of Detroit, my feelings out of a lot of this stuff and to say, if we're not going to wholly raise taxes on billionaires and corporations, if we're
Well, and here's the other thing. So here's the other thing. Unlike New York,
I'm saying nationally because if you do
in Detroit, all it's going to do is push people out.
I'm saying if you do it nationally, then that raises the boat,
Yep.
that raises the tide for the entire country.
Yeah.
That just makes investment at the medium and the lower level a lot easier just for the average American to do. You can start more businesses, so on and so forth. Anyway, my point is that there's no will to do that nationally. Ain't nobody doing it. Ain't nobody doing it right now, especially not with what we got right now. It's not going to happen. So let's get rid of that. So let's vote however we feel next time, and maybe it can happen. But the point is that I'm trying to bring is that Detroit is in a situation in which there are 5 to 7 projects that either we make a decision as a people, are we going to pay for it, or is it just going to never happen?
Or we're going to throw in.
Right.
Are you going to throw in? Because in reality, 1.25 billion is coming from GM and.
But yeah, is we gonna throw in? Are we gonna put in part of it, or is it just never going to happen?
So you see with the new hotels with the convention center, that's actually a project that's being developed by the convention authority. There is a private partner, but it's actually the convention authority doing it. Otherwise, that project doesn't happen.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and specifically talking about the Renaissance Center because, as I said, it is a very special case, the Renaissance Center. We're for any other project in the city of Detroit, we're not talking about numbers of this magnitude. We're just not. Right?
I mean, that's part of the albatross that this building is.
That's my point. My thing is, would you rather the symbol of the city in a permanent fixture in our skyline be an actual busted, broke down, terrible, gross, hollowed out looking building, in the same way that people used to sit back and say, oh my God, ruin porn, stop coming to Detroit to shoot ruin porn? I mean, they are abandoning that building one way or the other. They're gone.
And they would argue they would be the responsible corporate citizens to demolish it.
So,
and there would be a lot of people who would agree with them.
So I get it. And I don't like this Sophie's choice either. But also, I would much rather something be there that people are going to use and enjoy and come down and say something nice about the town that may actually lead into more people wanting to live here.
Okay, so let's talk about that with the Leland. I guarantee you there's going to have to be subsidies for the Leland. I guarantee you.
To do anything with it.
To do anything with that thing.
Yeah.
Because that building is net negative value.
Yeah, to do anything with it.
So do you want to cut off all subsidies and then have things just not there and not happen? That's the unfortunate choice that we're in.
It's like...
Because it's going to fall, right?
It's also the nature of the game, too. Like, and that's just... Again, until certain people get in power and we just start actually just changing the rules. Like, this is the game, right? Like, the game is that these big projects get done with subsidies because billionaires don't like spending their money.
But the thing is about
Right?
that is,
Like-
but there are certain things that so
take it.
I hear you. So but fundamentally, the challenge is so many things that Detroit deal with are outside of our pay grade.
Yeah, we're still building like we got 1 million plus.
But also they're outside of our pay grade as far as our decisions.
Yeah.
Like as far as hierarchy. There's only so much like okay, so a lot of the affordable housing you see in Detroit, that's not paid for by the city. No. That's redirecting federal money.
Federal money.
The mayor gets to cut the ribbon.
Yeah.
There's planning, there's involvement, there's things like that. But that's federal money.
Well, and that's what I mean is that like even at the federal level, there's incentives to do all this stuff. There people get tax breaks to do all of this stuff. Right? I mean, listen, y'all. We all do our taxes every, February, March. We all try to cheat on our taxes. We all try to pay the least amount of taxes as humanly possible. Everyone does.
The president does.
Every president has, right? Like I want to remove partisanship out of this. I want to remove that concept out of this, right? And to say that everybody, all American citizens do as much as they can to pay the least amount of taxes as humanly possible. My retort to that is unless we make it so those who have way more to spend to pay more, we're going to have to deal with this.
Doc Taro, wasn't there supposed to be a hotel next to LCA? Oh, there's supposed to be many things next to LCA. They have,
bro. Listen,
they have finished the Eddystone, so I'm going to give them that credit.
Done, yeah.
But outside of that, the building that actually was the apartment building that Harvey Firestone lived in.
Yep.
The Alhambra was supposed to be done. No. There's a bunch of others that were supposed to be there. There's supposed to be the hotel. There's still those girder beams over there on Woodward Avenue.
Yep.
Just I mean,
it's a lot of stuff.
Tough.
I mean, it's like there's a number of surface parking lots that were supposed to be filled in. It's a bunch of stuff, man. Like so.
And Michael Dompierre says, "Bingo! It's just the development game. Government funds so much, and that's just how it goes." Well, that's the whole thing. You can't unilaterally disarm.
No,
without a system change from the top, you can't.
You can't do it at the state and local level. It has to change at the top.
Robert Lynn, we need the subsidies because projects don't pencil out.
Yeah, we were just explaining that is that for particularly when it comes to affordable housing.
So here's the other thing too. Pencil out. Some people will be like, well, yes, in some cases they don't pencil out where they lose money. There's other situations where the subsidies get them to like 3 or 4% margins, which is actually the least margins they can do. And so the reality is that the money goes where you can make even more money. Like when you think about this from a capitalist mindset, and when you're putting that stuff together, you say, okay, I'm going to go in Columbus and I can make 15%, or I can invest in Detroit and make 4%. What am I doing?
Easy peasy.
It's that simple. There's no feelings in it, like your fantasy football you were talking
earlier.
There's no
feelings.
That's the thing
There's
people
no
don't
feelings.
realize.
It's data.
There are no feelings in this.
It's data, and that's why when I sit back and I say America deserves a better brand of billionaire, is that there's a lot of people who don't need to hit that margin no more. They're good, and so they can be empowered to invest in things that are for the public good.
I guarantee
and that
you,
is we are not seeing that.
Now, I'm not going to say for the public good, but I guarantee you almost none of Dan Gilbert's buildings make money.
He said that.
I know.
He said that. He will openly say it.
Yeah, they don't make money.
And again, I'm not trying to cape for a billionaire. I don't care.
Even with the subsidies, they don't make money.
Right.
So unless he's doing it because he's passionate about it, like that's not happening.
Right.
The Hudson's was actually in trouble until they got GM as the anchor tenant.
Yep.
We were there for the interview. We did the tour.
Yeah, I know.
They were like,
We
"This
said
is."
it. It got built, and we ain't know.
Nobody wanted it.
They said we ain't know. We didn't know. Nobody wanted it. But that's the thing, man. Is that the more and more that people want things to happen, especially in Detroit, the more we got to reckon with the reality is that we got to rethink our entire tax code. We got to rethink our zoning code. We got to rethink a lot of stuff in this town in order to make development feasible, and then to get to a point to where people want to live here once more. I want to live here, but it's hard to convince a lot of my peers.
Apartments are going up in the suburbs.
Sure are. Get
Sure
ready.
are. I mean, there's people that we see them. I get listeners who live in them in Rochester Hills.
They're
and
going up.
Whatever. A lot of this chat's more city centric, but a lot of our listeners are all
And
over
you wanna know-
because they're driving.
You want to know why they're going up?
Michael Beer says, Robert Lynn, the cynical people say consultants massage numbers to get subsidies. I agree with you, but massaging numbers to get 3% is dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
you
you
don't
massage
you
numbers
massage
to get
15. Yeah, you don't massage to get 3.
Like, massaging numbers to get 3% is like, oh, let's make this really high risk thing.
That juice ain't worth the squeeze.
That's not worth the squeeze.
Yeah, that juice ain't worth the squeeze. Like, you know, the the game or the apartments going up in the suburbs is because, again, the suburbs are built fundamentally to not be dense. Like, y'all thought NIMBYism is bad in Detroit. Go live somewhere else, right? Because the very conceptually, literally, the whole reason to live in the suburbs is so you don't have to live next to an 8-story apartment building. So that is the whole point.
So I would argue that some of those developments, if you look at places like Royal Oak or Ferndale or even out in the outer suburbs, like there's a huge apartment building going up by a friend of mine who lives in Auburn Hills. Although that friend, I think, just moved to the east.
You know
east
how
side.
much pushback those projects get.
But what I was saying is you'd see less of that if it was easier to build here in a way that even reflected what the city used to be, which building the city the way it used to be is now illegal.
Yeah.
It is now illegal.
Yeah.
To build the city the way it used to be. I know because there's a project that I'm going to be highlighting in the newsletter that talks about the 18 months of process they had to go through to get a small building, 2-story building that matched the building next to them to get that done. Whereas it took 18 months for all of District Detroit that didn't happen. And these are small investors that don't have the money. They're like people that you can just meet and live here.
Yeah.
Okay. That is a systems problem. And we have to address the systems problem where those smaller people can build something that's to make Corktown look like Corktown was. Like even what Corktown is. You can't build what it was. You can't.
No, you can't build what it was.
Without huge changes. I remember talking to the people who did the project, that beautiful rehab where Folk is. They built the Spectacles building next to it.
Oh, fantastic.
And we had the owner and the developer on this show talking about the numerous council meetings that unless he loved that project, this project doesn't make any money. He built it because he wants it to exist.
But that's the thing.
That's like 1 out of 300 people.
Well, and that's the thing is that like people who build it just because they want it to exist come few and far between. Most people are going to build because they want to make money. And my thing is that we, unfortunately, because of what the system we live in right now, have to be more accommodating than normal.
So Michael Dompier and Robert Lynn are going back and forth.
I love that y'all going back and forth
That's
in
great.
chat, by the way. This is fantastic.
Real estate projects are ultra lucrative.
Not always.
No. Without tax abatements and other support, you might not make a lot of rent versus operation, but development itself is lucrative. Actually, right now they're not.
No, it's not.
You're seeing apartment buildings being turned into hotels.
Yeah.
You're seeing it's not I can tell you like whether they're so here's the thing. I wouldn't feel this way if I didn't have people on all sides of the development sector, from nonprofit, low income people trying to do stuff where I know they're not trying to make money, to the people trying to make money. They're all telling me the same thing. Usually I'm like, okay, if over here on the left, they're like, oh, their things are over here on the right, they're saying different things. This is the first time I'm hearing them sing from the same songbook. And I'm hearing people saying, okay.
Well, but just before you continue, is that because of just fundamentally the way the industry is made, or is that because of extenuating factors given the current economic situation?
Detroit has some unique issues.
Yeah.
Detroit has some very
I mean both in Detroit and also just nationally.
I think one challenge, this is part of the challenge. This is a Metro Detroit issue to some extent. There's just situations where a lot of the public expects a rent that they're used to paying for a long time.
But like for a 1-bedroom, $800, that was the thing.
That's not
Detroit.
real.
Not reality.
Not anymore. I used to be that person.
No, but I know. But that was the thing. Like if you live in Detroit,
2016.
Yeah, 2015.
But that was
2016,
that never made sense back then. It's just everything's catching up.
No, I feel you. I'm not disagreeing. I was just curious as to, when you were getting that information, like what was the energy behind it? Was it more of a like unique to Detroit thing?
In a lot of ways it is. It's the people are literally no longer making their mortgage payments on their buildings.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happening with the
And so here's the thing: if they're not
City
making
Club at the Statler, and they're brand new and they don't have anywhere near capacity.
post-COVID, things are expensive. Yep, that's very true on so many levels. So one thing that's really been throwing things off with construction, steel,
Raw
wood,
material costs,
tariffs,
Yep.
all that stuff.
Just raw material costs, man. I mean, also, like, again, just the affordability crisis of America. And we have
Which has multiple causes.
It has multiple causes, multiple layers, but we also got to just speak on it and say that it's a reality. It is hard to build an apartment building and charge people $1,800 in rent when people can't afford groceries. It's hard.
Yep.
But also, you got to charge $1,800 worth of rent because you got to pay the mortgage on the building you just built.
And therein lies the issue, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And we need to think about, like, there are multiple causes to this. And I know everybody's got their favorite one on social media.
Absolutely.
And it's tough, but we've got to have a laser focus on it. We got to have a laser focus on it across the board in order to get out of this situation.
And the thing is that there's a lot of people that's going to have to get out the way.
Yep.
And some of them forcibly.
And some of them are, and a lot of people are going to have to come to realizations that, like, aren't very tweetable.
And not just that, but some of y'all ain't going to be rich. You ain't going to be rich.
That's true.
Some of y'all ain't going to be rich.
So you're talking more to the idea of that we all could be a millionaire someday.
But not just that, but even just like, okay, you get the property speculators, you get the real estate investors, you get all these people, and it's like, okay, this is a thing that we're gonna do and we're gonna make money. No, chances are we change this up, you'll just, maybe you'll be 100,000 and that's another thing. We got it, bruh. Do you know how many people are 100,000aires and live incredible lives? You know how much I would give to be like a 700,000aire? I don't have to be a millionaire. Not dope. It'd be the 700,000aire.
If I cared about being a millionaire, I would not be podcasting.
Same here. I'm just saying.
If I cared.
I'm just saying is that we gotta decouple, right? Just like I said, we gotta decouple success from the suburbs. We gotta decouple this dream of like $1 million from success.
But we need to define success in better ways. Like, okay, are we going to build things that, the numbers have to pencil out, but also, are we optimizing for joy? Are we optimizing for health? Are we optimizing, looking at obviously money's money and exists and we're in this system.
But it's
blah,
like,
blah, blah.
Am I comfortable? Like, comfortable within a reasonable context, right? Like, not comfortable like I drive a Ferrari and my house has 9 bedrooms. That's excess. I'm not talking about excess, and I'm also not telling people that they got to live like Spartans. I'm just saying that there is a base level. I think a metric just came out. I forgot who it was. It might have been Bloomberg or somebody like that they basically said millennials, in order to be comfortable, the magic number for them now is around 108,000. And I think about that in my life. If I made 108,000, I'm comfortable. I really don't need much more than that. Like, I'm talking about every need is taken care of.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, every need is taken care of. I don't have debt. And, if I were to have a kid or some crap, we're good.
Me and the D. Detroit is a land of opportunity. People aren't moving here because they like Detroit. They're looking to make money or save money. I think you're right. But also, there is an energy to Detroit which puts it on their radar as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So they hear about it, but then that secondary thing kicks in, right?
Yeah.
They got to hear about it first. I remember when nobody paid attention.
No, me too.
And so I think you're right, but also, people don't, I can't tell you how many times I've been to events and things where it's like, or a get together and it's like, oh yeah, I'm the native born Detroiter. And like nobody else in there is.
Oh boy.
Like, it's all people from other places.
Do you know how much that happens to me? Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, it probably happens to you more than me.
Yeah.
It probably happens to you way more than me, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably happens
it's happened to both of us.
It's happened to both of us, but I'm sure it's happened to you more than me.
Yeah. And that whole idea of like, okay, well, and these are people who are looking to be comfortable. because they're not rich, but in Detroit, the money goes farther if you've got. So that's the other thing. If you've got cash, you can do so much in the city. If you don't need a bank loan, if you've got cash, you can do a lot.
But see, there's the thing. That's the thing that I think a lot of these friction points come from, is because we are still operating from our conceptualization of what is doing well, what is successful, what is doing good. And if you got a guy coming up here from Austin, he's coming with some money to play with.
But money that didn't go as long there.
Right.
It goes longer here.
That's why he's coming up. That's why he's here.
Yeah.
Right? So, I think to a certain extent, yes, that's frustrating. Yes, it is what it is. But this is also the nature of cities. This is the nature of all cities.
Cities are supposed to be hubs.
Cities are supposed to be hubs. They're supposed to have people from all over. They're supposed to be having all kinds of stuff going on with people from all over the freaking world.
Turner said, Daily Detroit, please keep an eye out on which census tracts get picked for the new opportunity zones allocation per the new federal tax bill. Oh, yeah. Well, keep an eye.
You know we own it.
Yeah.
You know we own it. You know we own
That's
it.
Marcone GPT.
Absolutely.
Lucci, Big Lucci.
Big Lucci. That's right.
That's an actual person. That's not a code we've written.
Nah,
he is not an AI. He is an Italian.
Yeah, but that's his jam.
He's a Polish Italian. He's a PI.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff he loves, man. But yeah, we'll definitely be looking out for stuff like that. But just on that tip, like, this is why I love the Daily Detroit audience, asking the thought-provoking questions, getting us turned up, getting us talking about a lot of these things.
These are conversations that aren't happening many places, if ever, in media in Detroit.
Yeah, if anywhere.
Because we're too busy arguing over, how close you. I don't know. They're not generally happening.
Arguing about Faygo flavors, like I don't know.
I'll argue about a Faygo flavor. I will.
It's rock and roll. Anyway, but the point is that these are really important conversations.
Underrated Arctic Sun.
It is underrated.
Underrated.
It is underrated. I'll give you that. It's underrated. But yeah, and this is why I like doing the mailbag episodes and stuff too, because you guys just don't ask good questions. You challenge us. You force us to go deep into our mental reservoirs, think about these things in a different way to present y'all with the best information, because at the end of the day, we all want Detroit to win, right? Like, let's just say you're not listening to a podcast called Daily Detroit if you don't want Detroit to win.
It's really funny when people come in here who hate Detroit and they like bounce after a little while.
Yeah.
Like listening to the podcast, they'll be like, "What do you mean, you blah blah whatever it is." Every day I'm called a communist and a right-wing nut job. So I figure I'm doing my job. You're gonna make me take a compliment, Robert Lynn, of the flannel. He likes the flannel.
It is a nice flannel.
I feel like Al Borland.
It's okay. We like Al. I'm just saying, y'all, and a lot of people have met me and talked to me personally and kind of know where I land on things, but y'all also know.
I mean, look at your shirt, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't see it. You can't, maybe in the one shot you can't see it.
Yeah. Y'all know where I land. I'm just keeping it for real. I'm just saying at the same time, I just got to call it what it is. Like, I can't live in, like, fantasy land, Like, there's some hard, really, like, kind of gross, unfortunate stuff that we got to do in order for our city to survive. And, like, we still in that mode. Like, people talking like, oh, Detroit is so back. We've done it. No, we didn't do anything.
We've done some work.
We've done some work. We're not back. Like, I will consider us back when I see us with 1 million people again, and that may never happen.
I think it will.
I think so too, but I said may. Why? Because again, I'm already mentally prepping myself for if I don't see it, and that's okay.
I think for me, and I give people like will do like the downtown versus neighborhoods and blah blah blah. And different things. I just I drive to the studio every day and I'm like, oh, people should be here. Like, people should be living here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I just look at, it's a very simple eye test. Like, I see places like the Packer plant is right around the corner from me.
Should be stuff there.
Right. I'll go down these streets that there should be people there.
There should just be people there. I do it all the time, man. Like, I go down, our commercial corridors. I especially shoot up like, Grand River, or I go up Gratiot, or I go up 7 Mile. And I was like, there should just be stuff here, man. I don't care who put some stuff there. That's like when you see the stuff that's been popping off on Mac and people really trying to, bring that little corridor back together again, or Jefferson Chalmers bring that corridor back again. Bro, I don't care who live over there. It's dope. Stuff is there that wasn't there when I was little. That's great.
I want to mention a new housing development that's near me over just south of Mac on the Riverside. There's a bunch of 2-stories going in right over there by the church at Mac and Grand Boulevard.
Oh, yeah. I read about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
And then there's an RFP out there along Mac as well
Yeah.
for some low-income housing. So
And last thing I'm going to say, and this is to my brothers and sisters out there of the more Afro-American persuasion. Y'all, if you want the city to stay majority black, stay here.
or move here.
Or move here. Get your cousins to move back. I got my sister to move back.
You did?
I did.
Oh.
I got my sister to move back. She wanted to be in the city. I was like, good on you, little sis. She was like, I need to be in the city. I need to be where the action is. I need to be around people. This is what I want. And I was like, you learned that from me. This is.
You're a very proud brother right now. Like
Absolutely.
literal brother.
Yeah, I am a very proud brother because it meant a lot to me that she made that very conscious decision without necessarily like my verbal influence. You know, it's dope. And so, you know, it's not impossible for us to talk to our family and get us all to do that, because if we truly feel like this is a special place for us and really important for us to lock it down and maintain our culture and maintain the stuff that we want to in the city, then I don't know, stop telling your cousins to move to Rochester.
Before we go, shop Mary Midtown this weekend, Saturday.
Be there or be square.
Saturday evening. It's like the stand-in for Noel night.
Yep.
Spend money locally.
That's right. Small businesses, y'all.
citybird.com/events. I know I'm doing, you know what? I'm fine to be a shill at times. I'm fine because I got to eat.
Shilling for small businesses is great.
So go check it out. Definitely something very cool. Thank you everyone for the lively chat. I really appreciate you.
This has been one of our best chats.
I always get
ever.
scared whenever I turn on the things. I'm like, no one's going to care. No one's going to care.
Somebody cares. Jared, you wouldn't be doing this for so long if people didn't care.
Well, I really appreciate all of you. Remember that we do the podcast every day. Remember that we've got our Patreon, patreon.com/Daily Detroit. If you're not already a member, join us. It helps keep things going. $5 a month, less than $50 a year. If you want to do it with the sticker pack, really affordable. There's other ways. If you feel moved to support what we're doing, let us know. It's really good. If you want to sponsor what we're doing, let me know. dailydetroit@gmail.com. We're doing a lot of stuff. We've got our newsletter that's been rocking and rolling, and we've got interesting news. I can't say anything.
Don't say nothing.
I got stuff for you tomorrow.
Yes, we got stuff.
We got stuff for you tomorrow.
We got stuff.
We got stuff for you tomorrow. All right, with that, I'm Jared Stace.
And I'm Norris Howard.
Remember that you are somebody, and we'll see you around Detroit.